Where's the fucking video? There we go. Boom. We're in. Now I'm just waiting for Instagram to go live. Actually, wait. Okay, yeah. I'm talking. Come on. Yay, there it is. Instagram live. Motherfucker. Happy late New Year. Now, it is the first. Well, it's not the first of the month. What the fuck am I talking about? It is. It's almost the end of January for me, actually, and for you guys. So yeah, 2024 is done. What did I do for Christmas? Well, actually, I put up the last episode, actually, and of course I played through all of God of War 2018, or just about. At some point, I'm gonna go back in and do the whatchamacallit. What do you call it? The fucking thing. Oh yeah, well, finish it. Basically, go collect everything, and I'll probably do that live as well. Although I'm a little so I think I mentioned that I started a new job right at the end of the year, and I've been doing it all this month. It's it's a sales job, which is it's a little different for me. You know, it's my first of this type, but it's literally just a phone job. You know, calling up people who clicked on company ads. Now, I won't say the name of the company because, it's a financial thing, actually. And also, the funny, it's actually kind of political, which is, it's strange for me. Actually, that's not even really the strange part, because, I mean, like, I could, and again, I'm not saying, what the company is or which side, but yeah, like I don't mind talking about politics, especially since that's the purpose, right? And I don't really mind selling a product either. Once I kind of know what I'm talking about, I mean that's the job. Be knowledgeable. I can, I can do everything that's needed, really. The thing that I'm kind of having trouble wrapping my minds around with is, as an opener, it's my job to, for the most part, use politics to kind of, like, get the people's attention, and then I have to be able to keep that momentum going for them in order to turn it over to, the next person, the mid, who is going to be able to, really start digging in and selling them on the thing. Which, yeah, it's been proven kind of hard. I haven't really had any success yet. I'm not too worried because I know that it takes some time, right? And then also, I'm just starting out. So what was I saying? I'm just starting out, meaning that right now I only have like the outbound calls. So that's like, numbers that we get off of various mailing lists. So it's gonna be like websites that have our company's ad there, or maybe like a short blurb, and it's mostly political to begin with, so I have to go with that. It's getting to be more apparently. It's getting to be more apparently. That's the most vaguest fucking sentence. It might not be the most that I say tonight, but it's certainly up there. But what am I trying to say? It's very vague. Fuck, I completely lost it. Oh. No, shit. Damn it. Oh, right. So the market is starting to get to the point where I'll get leads that are literally just about the product, So I could say like, hey, my name's Carson from our company. Heard you're interested in this. Would you like to know more? And then they'll say yes, or most likely say no. Get like I don't have any money. Bullshit, I'm lying. Probably not. I don't have any money. Speaking of, I kind of got January was a bit rough for me. This next month is actually going to be kind of rough too, because January, since my pay schedule with the new job is kind of weird. So basically, I get paid on the 7th and the 22nd. And then what they do is instead of it being like an even 2 weeks, the month is split in half, just straight up. So like this last, so yeah, I obviously at the first half of the month I didn't really make much because I only got paid for literally like the last 2 days of December, something like that. So I was just kind of like, well, I don't have nothing. And then we had New Year's off, and then I went back. And I got my first actual paycheck a little bit ago, so that's already going to disappear here in a second for rent. But yeah, it is weird because instead of being 14 days, the pay periods are a little bit longer, I think. I'd have to double check. But, and then, yeah, like I said, it's the 7th and the 22nd of every month, but just whatever day that happens to be. So, so like if it had stayed strict, like my first paycheck I got on a Wednesday. You think, okay, it's every other Wednesday. Well, no. My next one is going to be a Friday this time because it's literally right on the 31st of the month. So right at the end, which is that's not too bad. Or no, what am I thinking? No, the pay period ends on the 31st. So that means the 7th. What was it? Okay, so this month it was every Wednesday. Next month it's going to be something different. That's what I was trying to get at. I had my shit mixed up. My current pay period ends on the 31st. So, like I said, they split the month in half. Which is fine, I guess, especially once you're kind of you get in there kind of regular. I don't know, although at the same time too, I am kind of worried because it does seem like this job in particular is a little hard to succeed in, and people do kind of come and go. I already had like, what was it, one new guy quit who sat across from me like literally after a couple days, which whatever. And then guy who was sitting next to me was there for like about a week, and then they let him go because he just didn't have a good voice on the phone. Like he kind of sounded like old Lou Ferrigno, or no, Andre. He sounded like Andre the Giant. He wasn't a giant, mind you, but just kind of like that real slow voice. And then, but then I guess he was also getting, like his words kind of mixed up all the time. And also with this job, there are like some standards they have to follow, and there's like things that you can't say really on the call. Doubled by the fact that we actually have a lawyer in the company who apparently listens to all the calls, make sure that nothing crazy is happening, at least not on our end. Obviously the people that we talk to, they can swear all you want. I get a go fuck yourself every once in a while because people don't like talking on the phone, but I don't know what it is. Well, I guess I can kind of see what it is. I'm sure like older sales models, before social media and like automatic type of stuff is probably a lot more aggressive because all you had was a phone and the phone call, and probably not, and it was probably all like on sheets of paper, like, hey, you're calling all these numbers and you gotta mark them off, make some notes or whatever, and then all this shit's getting burnt, so we're killing all the trees for you. This time, not so much. Everything's online. We got like we're using Salesforce, which is like an auto dialer program. It's actually pretty nice. I don't mind it yet. But well, the point I was getting to before too is that I'm new enough where I'm not even on like the inbound calls yet, and that's where people call into the company for something, and usually the way it works in this case, like I said, the base like the base point is political, even though nothing's going to like a campaign or anything like that, right? It's just a private business. We're selling shit. But every day on their like text list, there will be like on the lists of leads that they get, or is some form like somehow you click on something and it'll add your number to a like a texting list, and there'll be some random blast like about something that's going on in politics today, and then people will be like, what the hell, and then call in, and then that's what that is. Although apparently it's also, like I said, the market's changing a little bit where our website or our company is going to be tiring. It's getting to be a little more well known. So I guess they're getting people actually calling in, saying like, oh, I want to know more about the product here or something like that. So, hey, I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, again, I'm keeping my expectations low because, that's just how the world is nowadays. And because like even there's another new guy who started like a couple days after me, and I caught him on the elevator on the way down. He's like, oh yeah, one of the another older guy got let go today actually, and by older like somebody who had been there longer, right? Like there's a few guys around me that have been there for like a few months, I guess. So yeah, it's just kind of wishy-washy. So, I'm not. I hate it, but I'm not relaxing yet. I'm still kind of keeping my eyes and ears open, and I'm still trying. I am, because the thing is, if you get a commission of a decent amount, it could be a lot. Like let's say, again, without saying the product. At least in our case, if somebody, well, that like I actually managed to get one lead through to the next step, but it ended up falling through. But the guy was potentially worth $150,000 for the company, and then the way our commission is, it's like 8% goes to whoever's involved, and then that's split up. So at the end, that would have been worth like $4,000. For a pay period. So, and ours is the case where it's at least I guess this is just for the openers, but there's a base pay, and then if your commission goes above that, then you get that instead. Which and it's fine, whatever. I guess that does kind of make sense, where because I imagine in other companies like the commission is a lot smaller, but it just goes on top of whatever you're normal. So I don't know, it just depends. I'm not in charge of figuring that out. That's fine. I'm just calling up people and telling them what's going on, and hopefully it turns into something good. I don't know. And then of course on the other end, I wasn't able to sign up for show shifts right away because well, I didn't know what my hours were going to look like with this job, and I was actually kind of surprised because they're pretty early. So I'm in there from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, which is actually pretty nice because by the time, so I mean it still takes me like an hour to get home. I'm literally just going from one side of the mountains up the 405 to the other, but it still takes me like over an hour to get there. And then, of course, the nice part about that is, I get home when most people are, or before I could get proper rest. Apparently, no, I get when I get home, it's a little bit before most people are just starting to leave work. Especially because, like, I remember, like, when I was back in my VFX jobs, we got on at 6 until it was crunch time, and then it was, something else. Usually, like, 8. Sometimes 10 whenever it got on, like, the really heavy weeks. Oh man, I miss my old studio. I really wish they hadn't left. Because I'm talking about when I was at Stereo D. This is when we were doing, like, 3D movies. Oh, they changed the name of the company too for some reason. I can only imagine. But because they were trying to get into more traditional compositing and visual effects. But I mean, the job was, I don't say this in a bad way. It was easy. It was extremely fucking easy, and I like that because why? Why do I like it? Oh, well, the thing for me, most people say, like, oh, I want my job to be like a challenge. Well, I not me so much because I'm an older millennial. If I was a younger millennial, I'd be more about that. So it wasn't so much that, like, the job engaged me at all. It was easy. I can get in there, do it without any problems. But it still worked for my case because rather than having, like, the challenge, it was like I was completing a project from start to finish, and that project being, a movie. So I was still getting the right amount of fulfillment. I think the only thing that was lacking was kind of the pay, especially compared to other VFX jobs, even like everyone that I had after that. But also at the same time, it was the only studio that was having that was basically signing people on for just like you were just a regular employee, a full-time employee. Where usually with studios, it's, we hire people on for, what was it, like 3 to 6 month project. Some of them are a year, depending on whatever. And then it's just like, hey man, thanks. See you on the next one. And that's the way it goes. But with Stereo D, we would get contracts for, like entire movies. And then they were getting them pretty regularly. Because that was back when 3D was a huge thing. Kind of died out now for whatever reason. I didn't really think it was bad or anything like that. Probably a little expensive, but whatever. And actually, that's probably it too. People didn't want to pay for it, which is funny because to convert a movie like we did was actually cheaper than to shoot it with a 3D camera and then try to fix the parallaxing or whatever later, which is nearly impossible. If it's our way, not so much. Much better. It's probably why they didn't have as big as salaries. I don't know. That and also, I remember there was a point, I think, if I remember right, where there was like 300 of us doing the movies. This was like my second year when we were in crunch for like an entire year. So it was literally, hey, overtime is pretty much open. So it was regularly we were doing 10-hour days. There were some stints in there where like the work dried up a little bit. Like I remember I was working on the Winter Soldier, and there was for a little bit, that was the only movie that was in the studio. It was like during the summertime, I think, like the year before the movie came out. And I remember our PA Bert would be walking around. He had his stick, and they basically told him, like, you gotta watch the times. He'd be walking around to people's desks and be like, all right, Carson, you need to clock out now. It's just like, all right, fine. So long. But it's literally they right up to the 40-hour mark in the week. So I definitely went home early a few Fridays, but they fixed that. That and before that time, actually, it was a lot worse. There was a time where they wanted as many people to do 12-hour days as possible, and I did a few. I mean, it sucked, but at the time, I also didn't have anything going on at home that I had to like worry about. I wasn't even dealing with the house finances at the time, so that was actually kind of easy because it's literally I'd just going to work, going to bed, and giving my money to one of my roommates, saying, "Wham bam, thank you, ma'am." Whatever. Oh man, what else happened this month? We had Martin Luther King Day, which is there's some exciting things going on there. Obviously, if you haven't been living under a rock, we got a new president, and well, actually that's not true. We have an old president again. By old means we have with him before, and he's also an old man. So we get to have Trump back in there. This next 4 years are going to be a bit of a roller coaster, and it's actually starting already. Like, I haven't seen the list of the executive orders that he's been signing, but I know there's some wild ones in there. Like, I think just, what was it, like a day or two ago, he cut off literally all federal aid. Just like all of it. So this is talking about public school. I'm sure some of this is going to get kind of rescinded or tweaked very soon. But so like right now, I guess public schools can't do lunches because that's federal aid. Research grants are on hold now. So like you're in a university, and as part of your program, you're doing research to kind of or working on a research project, because that's a good way to help your employment, and of course if it's a good cause then even better. But so that's going to be done for a little bit, or at least there will be a period of nothing, depending on what happens. Again, it's literally only been a day since I'm recording this, so. And then some student loans apparently are going to kind of stop for a little bit. Or no, it's going to hamper people applying for student loans, which I don't think will be a huge deal. Well, I guess it depends on like when you would need to apply, because obviously this current semester is just starting, right? It's January, so you've only been there for a few weeks, but I would assume that's already paid for, and I would imagine that at least this kind of little bit is sorted out soon. What else did he do? He also did like a hiring freeze for government workers. And so yeah, that's that's gonna put the pain on some people. Apparently, I was seeing some things on Reddit, which we'll get to Reddit soon. But apparently, like the HR kind of or what makes up the HR office in the federal government is kind of being taken over and radicalized. Like, people are losing their jobs there too. So I think that this was kind of one of the things that my dad was afraid of. I remember shortly before he had to retire was when Trump first got into office last time, and I remember him kind of saying that a lot of people in the office felt betrayed. Just because, well, I mean, I'm not going to explain all of it to you guys, but you can imagine what I mean. And, yeah, and that was then. This is going to be even worse for them. Which is, of course, going to affect, well, Everybody, honestly. So who knows? I did. There was one law that he did pass that he was looking at passing. At least I don't know how true it is, but apparently he's gonna make it so. I'm sorry about that. I am decaying, I guess, over here. Or no, I'm just wonked. But apparently he's working on a law that makes it so that only the parent who pays child support can collect them on their taxes. So, I don't know how all of y'all feel about this, but, so long, bitter baby mamas, fuck you. That's what that is. And I'm sure it's probably a personal thing for him, too, because he's got, what, three baby mamas now? I guess. He's keeping all the kids together somehow, though. And speaking of, I know last time he was in office, his youngest kid, Baron, was just like a little tiny dude. And now he's taller than literally everybody else. I mean, he's like 7 foot. Almost, it seems. Or maybe Trump's just really short. I don't know. I feel kind of bad for that kid because he's kind of gonna be growing. He's literally Richie Rich of the 2020s. That's his life. I wouldn't be surprised if like everything in his life he's going to be introduced like looking from the outside in, right? So whereas let's say like my a situation that I'm in, for example, my the Challenger finally crapped out. My old car, which honestly I had to replace last year, and I would have already if it wasn't for some other financial things that we were dealing with. But, well, it had been, the drive was getting kind of worn, I guess, for a while, starting to stick. And apparently my catalytic converter completely broke down, stopped functioning, and needed to be replaced. Now, my registration for that car was supposed to have been in the middle of next month. However, obviously I'm not registering it. Because since with the converter, I can't pass a smog check. It's literally what it's for. The catalytic converter so that your car passes smog checks. The whole thing's busted. There's no fucking way. Now, the kicker is that it would cost me $9,000 to repair. Which, after everything that's been a few years ago, that would have been nothing. I mean, actually a year ago, if we had to do a lot of things with our old building and stuff, like I said, I would have a new car already because by the time I turned it in this time, it was like over 150,000 miles on it, which actually isn't too bad. But that's like that's right on the line when things like really kind of start to break down. I need to be replaced and it needs better care. So I got out of that. Plus my warranty was long gone. And well, now I'm the owner of a nice new 2023 Jeep Renegade. It's very different. The first couple days were kind of a real bitch because I accidentally engaged the anti-theft system, which I somehow managed to get to work at one point, but yeah, I had to sit around and it would just like sit there beep at me. That sucked, and it turned out there was like an authenticator app that I could get from my phone because it was the car lock app with a KARR that I guess they use. So I was able to the guy walked me through because my car, it literally, I left work the next day. I went to AutoZone to try and find something that they didn't have because a lot of them were closing down around LA, which is kind of weird, but they're just like no inventory, right? I go back out, and of course my car is fucking not working at all. Like it won't turn or anything like that. So I was like, I called the dealership, like, hey man, what the fuck's going on here? And well, they were able to, kind of walk me through getting the app, making sure that it wasn't in lockdown mode, and I've been good ever since. So I got lucky there. Also, this car is like a lot more electronic stuff than what I've owned so far. My because the Challenger was the base model, right? Like it didn't even have the screen, which I have now, which is also nice too, because so for whatever reason my Bluetooth wouldn't connect properly. But it has a literal USB auxiliary cable, so I can just plug my phone in from the bottom and it'll immediately connect. It wasn't like my old car where the Bluetooth took it literally took a minute and a half to connect, maybe longer. I also just realized that I've been rambling for 30 minutes about literal bullshit. That's all this podcast is, right? I do wish, I wish I had somebody to talk to. I do wish I had like another person here. That would be very nice, but someday, maybe I can get Tom to get his ass back on here. And just, hey, give one of your kids away. Get back on the show. Those are always the good times. I gotta say, this is completely off topic. I actually look really good in the camera today. I think I know it's got to be the lighting, because I obviously don't wear makeup or anything like that. Oh, you know what? Since this is like a white hoodie, I've got it. I bet I'm soft lighting myself inside of my hoodie. That's got to be it. That's what I'm going with. I'm a genius, a lighting genius. Deal with it. The fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so yeah, I got the Renegade. It is nice. I'm getting used to the fact that my trunk isn't covered, since it's an SUV. So I got the one that goes up, and then you got the space behind the back seat there. For oh nice, I got somebody jumping in here on Twitch. Hey, welcome. Thank you for the offer, but I mean, I just kind of do everything myself, so. But thanks. Also, I get to have some stuff here. So you see, I'm not fucking alone, guys. You know what? I'll message this guy real quick. For the offer, but... Thanks for the offer, but I'm all good. I'll go with the exclamation mark. Oh, god damn it. Oh, that's right. So I can't post through Twitch chat, but the multi-stream chat works just fine. There we go. Thanks for... There we go. You'll see it. Oh. What? Oh, weird. So Twitch and YouTube chat, it has in one bracket, and then, wait. What? What is that? No, YouTube is down here. I don't know. And then, of course, this doesn't translate into Instagram at all. But the downside of having to deal with a new car is I have to deal with paying for the fucking thing. I could have gotten used. I do know that, but I mean, I didn't want to wait around. I probably should have waited and shopped around a little bit, but I mean, I wanted to stick with my same dealership that I know and I'm comfortable with, and also I got a really good warranty. So I got 60 months of just full bumper to bumper I got a couple warranties in there, so it's like all my oil, anything that happens, my tires even, that's all. It's all taken care of. Also, I did get kind of lucky too. Whenever they did my financing paperwork, something got a little screwed up, so I had to go back and re-sign. But they were able to get like another, well, hardly anything. They were able to get like another $10 off of my monthly premium, and you know, it's not much, obviously, but every little bit, adds up in the end. And this time, unlike my last car, because that one, well, I was in a lot better situation first of all, and it wasn't as expensive either. That one I only paid 300. This time I'm paying like just under 500. But this time I'm gonna be more smarter. I'm gonna pay attention to what's going on, and I'll probably go through the trouble of refinancing once I get to by like the end of the year, because that'll help me kind of get my thing down. It'll increase the amount of time that I have to pay for this thing, but then also depending on how life goes, I'll be able to pay it off sooner anyway, hopefully. Anywho, oh, and then the last thing I want to say is this vehicle. I don't think it gets as good a mileage as I had before with whatchamacallit, with the Challenger. But well, it also doesn't have like the eco mode thing that one had, where it would because my Challenger was a 6-cylinder, but the eco mode is it would have a sensor where it was kind of measuring like your force versus your rotations or whatever, and then it would unlock part of the like the piston, the camshaft, I guess. I think that's what it's called. You know what I mean? Where the one that the pistons are attached to, and it's all janky. It's all jankety. And gets them to go up. It would release part of that so that it would drop down to 4 cylinders. So like if I was already at speed and on a straightaway and I didn't need that much power, and it would save just a little bit on the gas. So that was cool. I don't have that anymore. But what this car does have is it has all-wheel drive functions, and they're automatic too. So that means, the next time, well, if I ended up moving back sooner or later, which I think that might be the reality, though, I want to, do better at least, and hopefully I wouldn't mind succeeding at this job, honestly. But I need to do a little bit better. And what? And if nothing else, go home strong, right? So we'll see. But I mean, there's also a lot of things happening, back home that are kind of not helping. Well, actually, no. Things kind of got better, right? We had like a bit of a scare because of our old boiler system doesn't like crust up and block up your boiler tank. But usually before, I think the supply was like $150, and then suddenly we had a bill for like $1,000, and of course my mom was like, "What the hell is this?" And eventually we figured out. Well, it turns out because our system also had another water softener in the back that takes like the pellets, like the ones you see at Menards for like $500. But that thing broke somehow, which I could see, considering the last couple of winters we'd been screwed over by the people we hired. They just didn't do the work and didn't say anything. The last guy, he was a nice guy, but it just turns out he didn't do a goddamn thing, right? He didn't, because those boilers, you have to flush them out regularly, and add in the chemicals, because it's dirty water that's coming back into the system once it's run through the building, and you don't want that like shit to settle and harden, because then the metal parts that it's covering that get heated, they're not directly in contact with water and staying cold enough. It'll heat up and crack or erode, and you do not want that, especially since those things cost like $60,000. No way. Which I wish my mom had gone with something else. That's a whole nother story. I'm not even gonna try and get into it. But anyways, the point is that it turns out that the $150 chemicals are good when you have a working water softener system, whereas the $1,000 chemicals are what's gonna do the job no matter what. You don't even have to have a water softener in there. The only problem is that nobody said anything before now, so it was a bit of a surprise. And then also the good thing is that the $1,000 chemicals, they're supposedly going to last us a year and a half. So yeah, we're good for a while at least. I am going to look into some other things, like just maybe converting the building to wall heaters. So it'll A, save up space, B, won't cost us what I think that the water ends up, it's like $3,000 in the winter just on the utility bills, which is not fun at all. And that one, because it's a single water system, whether the building's empty or full, it's always going to cost the same, because like it's the same amount of water going through the whole thing. So that, yeah, it's good when your shit's full. Bad, not so much when it's not. And then of course on top of that, which I think I've already talked about before, is the type of commercial boiler system that we have. People in the Midwest just don't have them anymore. Like if it was the East Coast, like if we were on Manhattan, all those older large buildings have steam boilers in them. So there's plenty of I mean they probably have like full on unions, I imagine, that work on like steam boiler union or whatever. Whereas out here in my hometown, there's no one basically. I think we were lucky enough that we had the guy we have who's licensed to do it. And then there's like two other people, but one works for the old high school, which I used to go to, and now it's like some offices and apartments. And the other works for one of the churches in the middle of town, which have the same kind of boiler, but they refuse to help basically, because they're like, oh, I'm contractually engaged. Fuck ever. Anyways, what else is going on? Yeah, I don't know. I'll get some shows. I'll be able to work some shows next month here. I got a few lined up. I only managed to get one this month, and it just happened to be the XBiz Awards, the porn awards. So that was a good times. Although, I mean, obviously you don't see anything because you're out in public, right? So whenever they're putting up the whatever, they're not showing the movie, or like that part of the movie, any nudity. It's a little bit different whenever they had the expo going on. Although I only worked the awards show, and I was in charge of backstage too, so I actually didn't see really much of anything, right? I only saw like some of the crowd overhead, but I mean, they all look the same from where I could tell, or sit, whatever, from where I could see. All right, well, let's finish off with some Reddit, guys. Ba-boom. Again, this is our good channel for this, the Casual Conversation subreddit, which I picked because it's just, what was it? Everybody does relationship bullshit. And then it gets on a Facebook and stuff. Oh, let's see the first one. I yawned. Okay, the title is Thoughts on Working a Kid Job as an Adult. Says, I recently started over just like them title says. I was a really successful insurance agent, but was pretty miserable at life. I worked as a server all throughout high school and college and loved it. I only quit so I could get an adult job. I took a few months off work to reset. It was great, although I missed working a lot. I realized I love taking care of people, and I love the challenges that came with serving. I took a gamble and a nearly $30,000 a year pay cut, to go back to work for my old company, though I do have a position in leadership, and I love it. LOL. Though it is weird working here again, I've had some self-conscious thoughts because I'm working as a server, as a young woman with a business degree, and I left a promising sales career. I've been embarrassed to tell my friends about the switch because it feels like a giant leap back. Have you guys ever had an experience like this? Thoughts about making a career out of something like restaurant work? It's funny. I haven't actually. I haven't had to step back quite like that. Not in that kind of drastic sense. I mean, I've already been in a couple situations where like I got a VFX contract. I did some work, and then, of course, my venue. I already had my nighttime job, so it was just like, okay, well, I'm just picking up more shifts again. I'm suddenly available, whatever. But not quite like this. Although, I will say that I occasionally think about my college job that I did, and that was I was an event manager, which literally just meant that I was one of the guys who set up the the conference rooms and the ballroom in our student centers, which is for the conference rooms, it would literally just be like setting up tables with some skirts and chairs for whatever meeting or activity is going on. And then, of course, my university was actually they would do a lot of weddings because, well, the church on campus, they have like a really nice church on campus. It's funny. I literally only been into the building twice because once at the beginning and once at the end. That was about it. But it is a nice old school chapel. Kind of, it's really weird thinking about like really nice old buildings in the Midwest. You know what I mean? It's like y'all got on your carts and horses and shit, trudged all the way out here and said, we're building it up. We're getting a nice, gigantic, old fucking brick building. And fuck the snow, fuck the wolves, fuck the natives, I guess, in more ways than one, probably. And they did it. They built a big-ass church. Some other stuff. But anyways, it's a really nice church, and people get married there all the time. So naturally, they'll have the reception in... A lot of times they'll have the reception in the student centers. Like, we even get people... The church is nice enough that we even get people who, like, aren't alumni getting married there. Just fuck it, whatever. Or maybe they had like family or something like that. I don't know. That's not our business, obviously. In fact, usually, what was I saying? Yeah, so we had 2 student centers at the time, which is actually the only reason that I was even able to get a job or that job as a senior, because usually they only hire freshmen and just kind of go from there. But then suddenly they had another building. So... But yeah, for those, we'd have to set up, was there a stage? Yes. I don't even remember that as much. I don't know how we did the stage. Or if we did the stage. I know there was, we would have to set up stage stairs. So we definitely had to set up a stage every once in a while. I don't remember anything about that. But, and then there was always a dance floor. That thing was a bitch. right? So it was like these giant wooden panels. They would be 3x3, I want to say, and then of course they were lined with like a metal rim that had. It was one of the ones where like you slide them together. They kind of go in at an angle, and then you would take one of those Allen wrench keys. And there was a couple little holes where you would lock them together. They would have the latch that kind of comes out of one and hooks into the other. And then the same with like the trim of the dance floor. They had like the little metal step ups there, so we'd have to set up that whole thing. And then of course, chairs and tables everywhere. I would love to. If I could do that job for $30 an hour, sign me the fuck up. Get me back there, bro. I'll do it full time. I don't give a fuck. It sounds boring as shit. I'll bring a book, whatever. I want to do that. Let me set up tables for $30 an hour. Hey, you know what? If Trump can give me a job setting up tables for $30 an hour full time, with benefits. Well, I mean, he's still a dumbass, but I think a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what other people said about this post. Let's see. There's no kid's job. Whatever earns you a living is a job. Fair enough. I mean, I've been there. My venue job could technically be considered, well, I mean, obviously it's not an office job, so it could be kind of looked down on, but I mean, I really enjoy it. And I also really enjoyed my office jobs, doing visual effects as well. I'd say about equally. I don't know. One more comment here. Nothing wrong with resetting. The sales job wasn't permanent. Thanks for telling me. But maybe what you needed at the time. Say for this job. Good for you for paying attention to your needs. Yeah, well, hey, here I am. I'm in a sales job. And I do know it's not going to be forever. But, again, I'm still trying. So, whatever. Let's do another one. What the fuck? Okay, title is, I think my sister is magic, because I cannot find another way to explain this. My sister is 20. She just had her birthday recently. We have a very close relationship, and we pretty much never argue. But we do yawn all the time. Growing up, she was never wrong. And I don't mean that in a snarky or petty way. I mean, literally. She found out my best friend had appendicitis before my friend even knew herself, just from a few symptoms. She can guess anyone's birthday and life story just from being around them for a few days. My friend introduced us to a new group of people, and my sister accurately guessed all of their birthdays, how old they were when they were in their sibling lineup, if they were from a single parent, divorced, blended, or married family. My friends think she's creepy. She kinda is. And as she grew older, she's gotten way better at whatever the heck she does. Well, first of all, it's called empathy. I'll say that. Or being empathic. She can guess the card you're holding with 3 tries every single time. Okay, this is something more than being empathic. This is a little nuts. I've literally never seen her not do this. She could guess the name of your freaking cat by being around you for a few hours. She knows when someone is pulling down our driveway long before the dogs do. On that note, I'm pretty sure she can talk to animals too, because she could peer pressure a chicken into behaving perfectly. We grew up on a farm, and every single animal had a weird connection with her that I've never seen replicated or explained by anyone else. My grandma's dogs absolutely love her. And when she's around, everyone is chopped liver to them. All the pets in the house sleep in her room or on her bed. She trained baby ducks to sit on command 3 times. The cows know all their names only when she's the one saying them. I could go on. I swear to God, she's a main character in a novel. Is she magic or what? The first thing I would say is do not tell the government about your sister. See what other people said. Perform an experiment of her repeatedly performing a feat like guessing cards and record the process and the results for science. Then, depending on the outcome, either go to Vegas and win big or continue testing other abilities. Well, I would say don't go to Vegas. Right? Because they got people watching you. I'll give you ass the boot. Let's see what somebody else said. Am I whining? Peer pressure a chicken? Okay. My guess is that your sister is observant, empathic, good listener, enabler to let people and have good memory. Even if a friend introduced her to a new group, the first must have parroted about all the details about the others before the meeting. I think that the kind of your sister is that everyone uses her for ranting to great length, and well, that's magical as well because not everybody has those vibes. Oh, I see it. So they're trying to say that in reality, she's just someone that people open up to without realizing. But that doesn't help with the card thing. So there's something else going on. I think she is magical, man. Whatever. Deal with it. Let's do one more. Okay. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Why does life get harder when you start doing the right thing? It seems that whenever I start working hard, going out of my way to help people, staying sober, or rather being an overall healthy and productive person, life starts getting harder. Example, weird bills start to appear. Things start breaking that I need to fix. Yep. Old problematic friends start appearing. The moment I start slacking off again, however, life's pretty peaceful, and things work out how you expect them to. I can't be the only one who's experienced this phenomenon. Is there a name for it? Ugh. Well, I would say it's kind of a combination of a couple things. And they involve other people, really. So, well, when you do the right thing, it's going to be one or two things. The right thing could be detrimental to another person's, like, I'm not going to say well-being, but maybe like hustle or grift. That's the word I'm thinking of. If you do the right thing, you're going to run into people who are they're hurt because you are doing the right thing and not the wrong thing, like say looking the other way about something, right? So that's one reason that things get harder. The other reason would be that maybe just as you do the right thing and become successful, people are trying to get what you want. So, and then they're just, they're num-numbing on your vibe and see what people say. Yo, I consider that too. Like how I was homeless shooting up meth with a job, got my own room after months, and now I'm living in halfway and getting $2.75 an hour, no less. Wait. Or maybe it's just that things stick out more, like the slacker attitude applies towards everything. Or it's playing catch up from when I was a slacker. Like now I don't have contacts anymore and I can't afford them either. Well, this guy's life sucks. That's all I'm going to say there. I'm just going to move on. And also he doesn't fit because his life's always hard. Damn, I thought it was just me. End of last year, I stopped smoking, got a prescription for a medication I really needed, got a pay rise, got my drinking under control, started 2 hobbies I had abandoned and really thought everything was going to be okay. Hope one of them was Warhammer. I don't know why I thought of that, but it's the edible talking. Then, boom, silly things seem to be falling apart. It's like I'm scared to be happy now. Not just me. Past week or so, my son has passed his prelims. Also got a long-awaited medication, accepted into college. And I'm happy, but I'm also fucking dreading it for him. And in my mind now, is so much happiness doesn't have a good ending. Yeah, well. Yeah, life's a bitch. I guess. I know my life's going to be a bitch here pretty soon. That's at least for this next couple months. And I still gotta fly home at some point too, still. So I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that, but I think we'll be fine. It's not gonna be what I want yet. Yeah. I either need my dream job or I need to get the fuck out of here, but we'll see. And we will see one way or another. I will see y'all. I'll see y'all in February.